Hello, John Paval here with Access Arts Live, bringing you trying to adjust here our Instagram feed. Okay, bringing you the weekly roundup of all the performing arts live streams we can find for you this week. Once again, it's principally classical music this week, although a little more complicated than that, some avant-garde stuff, which is classical music plus or other kinds of music plus. So let's get right to it without further ado. Currently, right now, winding up. If you hurry up over there, you can head to the Chopin Institute's YouTube page, and you will find the piano recital of Marc-André Hamelin. We put out an earlier notice earlier today to tell you all about it. This guy is terrific. He is technically just an extremely proficient pianist, and he just finished up the first half of his concert, so it's not too late for you to log right on and find the second half right now as I'm speaking to you. But I'm not able to listen to it because I got to be doing this, and I can't be using up the bandwidth for my computer with doing anything but this live stream. So I'll be telling you instead, but I recommend you go see it. Marc-André Hamelin is nobody to sneeze at. He's playing, he'll be doing Maurice Ravel's Gaspard de la Nuit. When he returns. Come on. Anyway, so what we have for you mostly, aside from organ recitals, which we'll handle in a separate thing, is Thursday, September 5th, the Bergen in Bergen, Norway, Bergen Philharmonic Orchestra will be live streaming their opening concert for the season at 7:25 in the evening European time, which is 1:25 p.m. on the East Coast and 10:25 in the morning on the West Coast. They will be playing Sibelius' Symphony No. 3. No great surprise to hear a Scandinavian orchestra do that. Then they'll be playing some French stuff. Poulenc, Concerto for 2 pianos and orchestra, and Debussy's La Mer, which has been live streamed on at least 3 continents now in the last few weeks. They tell us in their program notes that Jean Sibelius' Third Symphony was a moment of personal ecological awakening, and so he composed in the purifying key of C major. I have no idea what that means. I've never been told before that C major is a purifying key, but I suppose you could get that out of it. You'll find out if you listen, I guess. More interesting to me is the Poulenc Concerto for 2 pianos. It's got a lot of musical variety in it, from Stravinsky-like passages to music hall kind of tunes, and it's being played by these 2 brothers, the Jussen brothers, from the Netherlands, Lucas and Arthur. These are 30-something brothers there. There's a picture of them having a good time. I like this other picture of them, their dramatic side from that's on their latest album. Yeah, I'm here behind the picture. Anyway, so that's the Jussen brothers, and these guys have been they've done a lot of touring together. They've been with Deutsche Grammophon since 2010, so that's a decade and a half. And now they've played a fair amount in Europe, but they're starting to branch out more. They'll be doing debuts with Chicago Symphony this year, the Baltimore Symphony, the Stockholm Phil, the Lahti Symphony Orchestra in Helsinki, the Prague Radio Symphony Orchestra, and the Israeli Philharmonic. But what this tells me is that there is a great likelihood that you have not heard them in person, and it may be a while before you get a chance to do so. So you might want to check them out and see this concert for that reason, if nothing else. Also, on Thursday, September 5th, at 8:30 in the evening Eastern Daylight Time, 5:30 in the evening on the West Coast, very late 2:30 in the morning here in Europe, but 10:30 on Friday morning in Australia, down under. ComposersConcordance is live streaming a concert by a band or a group called Sound Liberation, and put together and run by Gene Pritzker, whom we've talked to you about last week, because ComposersConcordance is going to be doing ongoing concerts and live streaming them, and we'll let you know about them. They're free live streams on their Facebook page. Gene Pritzker, who is he? Well, the New Yorker has a very succinct description of him. He's a rule-breaking composer, guitarist, and rapper who impresses funk and rock beats onto classical structures. That's about it. He's written over 900 pieces, including chamber operas, orchestral, and chamber works, but also electroacoustic music and all of that. They'll be doing pieces from his new album, including one called More Iguanas, one called Tony V Does the Tango, and one called Lost Occupied Part 2. But they're also going to be doing his arrangement of the first movement from Shostakovich's Piano Concerto No. 2 in F major. Now the band that he's got assembled, it's got violins, there's going to be poets who are going to be speaking. There's saxophones and all of that, it sounds very eclectic and crazy when you look at it. And if you go to the link, you'll see more of this information. But I just want to give you an example of one of the people that's playing with him, because he has people that come in from all over the world playing with him. Here's one. The saxophonist is Todd Rewald. Okay, Todd Rewald has performed at major concert venues all over the world: Sweden, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Japan, Taiwan, Canada, China, Ireland. He's recorded for None Such, Aleppo, Warner Brothers, and he's conducted master classes in the saxophone at Yale, Juilliard, Beijing Central Conservatory, the Sydney, Australia Conservatorium. I mean, these are the kind of people that get together with Gene Pritzker to do what he's doing. So it's eclectic, but there's a level of quality in the collaborators here, which is not to be ignored. Anyway, so that's that. That's on Thursday. Then we have several other things going on for you on Friday that I want to tell you about. But wait, before I do that, I keep forgetting these things, and I assemble these pictures so I can do it. Here's a picture of Gene Pritzker. There's the guy. This is him looking serious, not him holding a guitar or something like that. So there's a certain informality to some of their live streams, I should warn you. Okay, we move to Friday, and the first thing is Stage Plus, 2 concerts being live streamed by Stage Plus. Now, to watch any one of them, you have to subscribe to Stage Plus for a month, which will cost you €9.90 or $11 US. But already you're getting 2 concerts if you subscribe, and they will be doing more concerts as we go forward, live streaming them during the month of September. Your actual cost per concert is going to come down to like €2 or €3 or $2 or $3. So it's a ridiculously low amount. We prefer total live streams, but their model really does bring the cost down to you, the viewer, and you get to see things you can't see otherwise. This is the Hong Kong Phil. When are you going to see them? If they go on tour once 10 years from now or something. Anyway, it's Tarmo Petalkowski, who is their musical director conducting, and they'll be doing Bruckner's Symphony No. 9 in D major. This was his last symphony, and it's understood to have been about his tribute to his faith, the faith in God that sustained him and throughout his life. And I know about that. I wouldn't be here talking to you today, smiling and laughing, but for the grace of God. I know this without any doubt, whether you believe it or not. And whether any of us believe it or not doesn't change the truth. So anyway, they'll be doing that. But they'll also be doing Sibelius's Violin Concerto in D minor, Opus 47, for those of you who count the opus numbers and or want to look up the score. And the violinist is this terrific kid. I call him, he's so young. He's 23 years old. His name is Daniel Lozakovich, born in Stockholm in 2001, with a name like a very non-Swedish name, but that's Sweden today. Anyway, he went to study violin in Moscow when he was very young, and in 2016, when he was only like 15 years old, he won the Vladimir Spivakov International Violin Competition. Just nothing to sneeze at. If you look up his bio, you'll see he's won Artist of the Year awards in Germany and other countries. And the Deutsche Grammophon signed him when he was 15 years old in 2016. So he's worked with all the top conductors in Europe. The list is just the ones that you hear about. If you follow us telling you about live streams of great orchestras and all. All the same names come up in his list. And he's worked with the top orchestra. His debut season was 5 years ago in 2019, 2020. If you want some critics evaluation of him, well, then you could just Le Figaro, the very tough French conservative newspaper, after he did a performance at the Verbier Festival, and we told you about some live streams from this past summer. They said, here were their words: perfect mastery, an exceptional talent, and that's Daniel Lozakovich. I don't know if I'll be able to get the link to his website as well as the link to the concert, but if I don't, you can look him up, and he's got his own website. So that's early in the day because it's coming out of Hong Kong. But then Friday evening at 8 o'clock in the evening in Europe, 2 in the afternoon on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. Stage Plus is then live streaming the Konzerthausorchester in Berlin, the Concert House Orchestra, conducted by Joana Mallwitz, whom I want to tell you about. They're doing a concert involving Dvorak and dance music. And because Joana Mallwitz says she likes to start the season with dance music because it's light and it uplifts people. This is her second year as the first woman to take charge of one of the top orchestras in Berlin. And you know how serious the Germans are about this kind of thing, discipline. And but she's part of this wave of young women composers who have come up. Now, her experience is almost entirely in Germany when it comes to being associated with a specific house, a concert house. But she's done a lot of conducting in opera with the Dutch National Opera, the Royal Opera House at Covent Garden, the Bayerische Staatsoper, the Royal Danish Opera, the Norwegian National Opera. So she's also played with a number of top orchestras, the Philharmonia, Munich, the Orchestra Nationale de France, and the City of Birmingham Symphony, which is the musical director is a woman there too. So that they have let her to play there, but that's a top place. So she's one of these great women conductors to discover. They're doing John Adams, the Chairman Dances. They're doing Dvorak's Cello Concerto in B minor, Opus 104, with that great cellist soloist, Sheku Kanemason, who we told you about in one of our live streams a couple of months ago. And they'll do Rachmaninoff's symphonic dances. The thing that's interesting is that all three of these composers left Europe and went to America and got exposed to American music. And I swear, it's not the same as European music. I'm a lyric tenor. I've done concerts singing Schubert, and I've done concerts singing American art songs. Not the same thing. The structure, the architecture, the tonalities, the rhythms are so different. The concept of melody is different. But anyway, okay, so that's what we have for you. 2 of those high quality live streams on Friday from Stage Plus. And we thank them for making it so inexpensive, really. Then there are other things going on at the end of the week. The Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins has artist diploma recitals going on. And, I forgot again, and I don't want to forget this. I want to show you, I forgot to show you the violinist. There. That's Daniel Lozakovich. That's how young he is. I wanted you to see that. And here is Joana Mallwitz. What I love about this picture is how much fun she's having. And I think this is characteristic of her, because a composer who has that much fun is the same kind of composer who's going to say, you know what, let's start the season with some dance music so people can have a good time. I just think that's true. Okay, let me finish up the rest of this stuff. I'm trying to introduce these photos because I think they humanize it more for you. I won't add in recorded performances because I believe that recording a performance kills it. You got to get it while the artist is performing in an act of love with his or her heart, mind, and soul, and sharing it with the audience, whether the audience is physically present or having access from a distance. And there's a community which exists and shares this event. For me, that's almost sacred. And you only get it if you're live streaming. You don't get it by watching a recording. Anyway, so so what was I telling you about? I was telling you about there's a noontime, 12:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 9:30 in the morning on the West Coast, 6:30 in the evening. In Europe, the Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins is doing their Friday recital that they have always at this time period. And this time it's artists from the Institute's Artist Diploma program. The Peabody, if you don't know, is the oldest music conservatory in the United States. So they probably know what they're doing, and there could be some good music you're going to hear. We don't have the program. Then also Friday evening at 8 o'clock in the evening on the East Coast, 5 in the afternoon on the West Coast, 2 in the morning in Europe, but a lovely 10 in the morning Australian Standard Time, summertime. The KSU Symphony Orchestra plays Beethoven's Fifth for you, which you don't maybe hear live all that often, and 3 or 4 excerpts from Gustav Holst's The Planets, Mars, the bringer of war, Venus, Uranus, and Jupiter. That's free of charge on their own website, which we'll give you the link to. Then finally, one last piece we have to offer you, the Chopin Institute every Sunday at noon in Europe, 6 in the morning on the East Coast, 3 a.m. late Saturday night on the West Coast if you're nocturnal like me and can't sleep, or 8 in the evening in Australia, your Sunday evening. The Chopin Institute always live streams a Chopin recital from Żelazowa, Wola, which is the birthplace of Chopin himself. So perhaps worth tuning into. I didn't think there was all that much this week, and here we are. We're at 17 minutes. I want to remind you, please, if you get a chance, add us as followers on Facebook and or YouTube. We really haven't pushed YouTube followers as much as we should, and I would like to do that eventually, maybe even get to monetize this thing, because I'm working hard here to find all this stuff for you. And if you like any of our announcements, if you go to our pages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on X, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitch, you will find all these announcements. We encourage you to repost them, to send them to other people you know who love the performing arts, because there are millions of people around the world who love these performing arts, but there are not millions following these live streams. The mission, our mission at Access Arts Live is to bring together all these millions so that, when I'm at a concert and I'm enjoying, with 500 other people, a play or an opera or a dance performance or a symphony, I'm thinking, why not 500,000 enjoying this? With the 500 here in the hall and then 499,500 in a live stream. When it's that thrilling, that's the reach we'd like to see the performing arts have. So, ciao for now. Enjoy this week. For any of these live streams which end up on YouTube or which have a comment section, jump into the comment section and say hello to Access Arts Live. We're likely to be there, and we'd love to know that we were the ones who brought you there to see it. Okay, take care.